Okay, guys, we're talking about our lesson 5-3 measuring angles by estimation today and reviewing some of the words that we've used before and adding on a few others. So let's look at that vocabulary first. That acute angle. Again, remember we talked about acute being less than 90, cute little things. Well, again, that's an angle that is less than 90 degrees. So right here you can see I put that 90-degree angle, that straight up and down. That's where a 90 degree should be. That's 90 degrees, but where our angle is right here. So that definitely means it is less than 90 degrees. So that's an acute angle. Our next word, of course, is a right angle. Means it's exactly 90 degrees. So again, that nice straight up and down, left and right, that perfect 90-degree angle, that is exactly 90 degrees. And that nice little box right there in the corner is our symbol to say it's exactly 90, so that is a right angle. Our obtuse angle, again, that's large, is an angle that has to be greater than 90 degrees. So even if it's 90.5, that's still bigger, and that means it is obtuse. So when I go ahead and look where that 90-degree angle would be, that would give me exactly 90 degrees right here. Well, you can see our angle is actually a lot larger than that 90. So that's where we get that obtuse definition. And one we really haven't talked about yet that we're talking about today is called a straight angle. And that's an angle that's exactly 180 degrees. In other words, it really makes a straight line, which is why it's called a straight angle. So you can see one side is going this way, the other point from the vertex is going this way, and you can see the distance between those two rays would be 180 degrees. Now when I'm going ahead and estimating an angle, when they give it to me and I'm trying to determine about how much it might be, I'm thinking about that straight angle. I know that's 180 degrees. And if I'm thinking about 90, well, cut that exactly in half. That line would represent the 90. So when I'm estimating angles, I can tell which one's under 90, which one's over 90, depending where it would be on that circle. And again, if I had a circle and I cut this 90 degrees in half, well, that would mean that this part right here would be about 45 degrees. So that's where a 45-degree angle is. If I wanted to sit there and say, well, let's cut it into thirds, maybe draw a line like this, and then draw a line like this, and cut it into those three pieces. Well, 90 divided by 3 means each of these would be 30 degrees. So there would be 30 degrees. That much from the bottom top would be 60. And then, of course, that 90. So you can kind of decide where things actually fit. So when I'm coming down to doing our problems today, and I'm asking you to do things like estimate the measure, means you don't have to come up with the exact measure, means about and closely related, and classify the angle, could you do that? So if I'm looking at this A right here, I'm telling you the best thing to do is to draw where that 90 degrees would be. Well, I know that on that line, if I drew it straight up like that, that would be a 90-degree angle. This is definitely smaller than that 90 degrees. I need to determine about how much would this be. Well, if I had, let's get a different color. How about this purple? If I cut it in half, that's close to being about half. That means it's probably just a little bit under that 45 degrees. I would say maybe this is around, who knows, 40 degrees? So I'm going to say it's somewhere around 40. That's a pretty good estimate. If you gave me, even 30, I think it's a little bigger than 30. That's what it's asking you to do. About how many degrees do you think that would be? So we just divided it. I divided it into half. You can divide it into thirds to get a better estimate. Whatever you feel that will give you a good chance of determining how many degrees was this without using a protractor. And then classifying. Well, if it's under that 90 degrees, which ours is, that would be an acute angle. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this one for B. Again, here I am. I'm going to draw up where a 90 would be, and this is definitely larger than 90. In fact, my 180 would be somewhere over here. So I know it's bigger than 90, so I already know my angle is going to be what we call obtuse. Now, how many? Is it close to 90? Not really. To me, it looks like it's almost a little closer to 180. So if I went ahead and drew, maybe even broke it into 3 pieces at 90 degrees, try to give them as even as I can, that would be somewhere 30, 60, 90. Well, this is definitely 30, so 90 plus the 30, and then this is a little bit more, so it could even be 20, 25. Again, you're estimating. It's not quite that 30. So I'm going to say it's around 25. So it went over 90. Whoops, let's get rid of that. This much is to 90. 90 plus 30 more is 120. 120 plus about 25 more, I would say that angle is somewhere around 145 degrees. Again, if you got something near it, it would be acceptable. It doesn't have to be an exact measure. Let's try it one more time. If I go ahead and 90 degrees would be right here. Oh, this one's just a little bit more. So it's more than 90. So again, I still know it's obtuse. But how much more? Well, I know that halfway between that would be 45. That's definitely less than that. If I go ahead and do another one and say, okay, I want to cut it into 3 pieces. Whoops, I made too many lines on that one. Maybe around 3 there. That would be the 30 marks. Well, it's definitely less than 30. Maybe, what do you think? It's more than half that 30, so maybe around 20 degrees maybe. Okay, so that 90 that we're looking at, plus about 20 more here, well, that would be around 110 degrees. So I think that angle that we had was somewhere around 110. Again, we're just estimating. First deciding, is it less than 90, more than 90, or exactly 90? And then where in that range would that angle fall that they're giving? So again, it's just a practice before we start looking at our protractors and actually measuring, so we can kind of estimate in our head what our answer should be when we use that protractor. Now again, we're just going to be practicing this and talking about it in class. So if you have any questions, write them down, bring them with you, because we're going to review this when we get there. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.